And I don't like it release, so stop talking about it.
I didn't say it once, but since you brought it up, I'm going to average heaps more than you. Yeah, at that price? Who? At that price, who? At that price.
No.
At that price. At that price.
No one.
Good. Maddie put it in.
Too late.
Oh!
Too high. Too high.
They keep on asking me if Tom McConaughey's going to be the ruckman. It's not.
Not yet. Not yet anyway.
Not even. He's not the best ruckman in
I
cup.
want to see kidneys and chesters. I want to see these.
You're not going to be seeing much of chest, aren't you?
Oh, Francis. I just got concussed. I just got concussed.
Doesn't care.
Tom Mitchell doesn't just tug on the ball. Tom Mitchell kicks the winning goal and he got 140. Vice captain right now.
Welcome back to SuperCoach Masters and welcome back to the Spotify guys. We've been doing a couple of lives lately, so we haven't been able to post that. So, welcome back to SuperCoach Masters. My name is George.
And I am.
Alongside me is Matt Zeebs.
You can refer to me as King Matt Zeebs, and I'm Matt Zeebs. Alongside me is the Jordan loves. What's happening, champ? What's going on?
What are you doing, champ? What are you doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
This is a podcast. Just say hello to you.
I'm actually excited to do this as opposed to the live. I just think there's a couple of graphics we can put up. There's some more information we can get out to the fans. We can say hello to the Spotify guys. If you miss a podcast, guys, there's probably one as a live stream on YouTube. Check it out. If you are new here, please like and subscribe. Support the boys.
And if you've liked us and subscribed, we love you regardless.
We love you.
Tenfold.
Well, we don't love you regardless. We love you if you like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's the Well,
but we don't love you.
We don't love you at all. All right, George. What's the run sheet? What are we doing? Who are you
Oh
trading
man, I got
in?
something big, exciting news, champ. We're going to tell you why and who to get in the rookie department. I actually don't know who you're thinking of getting, and you probably don't know who I'm thinking. But we're going to go through the injury lists, see about that Berry, that Sharp, those Humphreys, all those losers. And we're going to see the best trade-out options, the best trade-in options. We're going to talk about the DPP, the upcoming DPPs coming up.
Oh, we like that.
But before that, let's get into the Cick Sunt Hall of
We
Fame,
have not
which is
seen-
now the SuperCoach. Oh man, I'm going to
SuperCoach. The SuperCoach Master Cick Sunts.
Cick Science, and look at this. That's been converted. Everyone's generous support into SuperCoach points. And look at this. We have got the Wahab.
Put him captain.
Now look, I don't remember when we used to watch Gary Ablett at Gold Coast. I think we're witnessing a bit of that with Wahab. I don't think there's going to be anyone like him.
Is this when he was at Gold Coast when he won the Brownlow? He was getting 150s every week?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
And now the Bruce, surprise, this came out of nowhere.
He did.
He came onto one
Love
live
the Bruce.
podcast and it was just absolutely amazing.
The
Everyone loved it
Bruce.
except for like two people.
Yeah. I think it was Wahab was one of them.
Then there's the SuperCoach baller, 125 SuperCoach. Dave turned it up. Matt Zeebs,
He loves it.
good
Loves to turn it
Hawthorn
up.
man, 100 SuperCoach Matty, and he is the ball magnet. Then we got the the Atlas. Don't we got the Atlas, which is holding up the team. Dean Fields, 90 SuperCoach. Whiskey Dude with some cherries. I can't say that,
cherries,
mate.
champ.
And we've got Billy or Bobby, or whatever his name is in the smiley face. He's on fire, 50 SuperCoach. And Kados, 50 SuperCoach. Benny T, where is he, Matty? 50 SuperCoach. He has gone missing since
What
like
have you got
round
Ego
one.
on report for?
Now, Ingo's on report for showing you support for falling asleep during the CBAs. So, Ingo, you could get it to 2 to 3 weeks in a bit, mate.
So you give him at least the TV. He's not suspended.
No,
he's not reported.
He's reported. I've cited him. Now,
Jamie, then you got Craig.
Craig
coming.
Los Pistolas, he's just above average of performance. He's coming in with the goods. He said he was going to give coffees every week for that.
He's going up. Because I got
He's
PNF.
going up. Now, Jamie was really quiet in the first half, but he's come back with a nice half. He's got the yin and yang. Shit first half, good second half. He's there, 40 SuperCoach points. And Glenn Fear itself, 30 SuperCoach points. Now, Tyson's got the Muppet. We'll get into Tyson in a second. He is the Muppet.
Wait a minute. Why has he got the Muppet?
I will read it out soon. We've got some coffee shouts, mate.
Sweet.
Christy Pritchard has been tagged, and I have not seen him in a while. Admin, he's pretty active, 20 SuperCoach. Blakey B, subbed on 20. Dylan, second gamer, 20 SuperCoach. Docky Boy, late in, 20 SuperCoach points.
Late in.
He was late inclusion.
He gave you a coffee because he felt sorry for you after I smashed you last week.
And he's a late support that I needed. Okay. So good on you, Docky. Shane Marcione, 20 SuperCoach point. Batman is gone. I don't know where he is. Brad Lewis hops out with the super chat. So did Luke Pearson, first gamers, and Shane-O. Shane 085. I think you might be Whiskey Dick. So let's let me know, and I can add your SuperCoach point. If not, I don't know
How
what
can
I'm
he be
talking
whiskey? If
because I think
he's got 2 accounts.
no, because when you donate coffee, you can change your name. But I think Shano gave us a super chat, so it's 2 different names.
Right.
You don't worry.
Okay.
Just let me handle this. Michael Long's been subbed out, man. I don't know where he is. I've seen him on Facebook commenting on the post. Johnny Mears injured, and we've got 2 absolute potatoes. Chase Jones and Mark Peanut with 1 coffee each. Pretty poor effort, guys.
Well done, Chase. Oh, they're newcomers, champ. They just got their first, they love our podcast.
Yeah,
they love watching our podcast.
Now let's get into the coffee shouts, Matty, because we have 3 coffee shouts.
Go to Tyson. I want to see
Tyson.
Tyson.
Let's go Tyson. No, Tyson Jackson bought a coffee. How I see you guys as AFL players. George is a Jack Zeeble type, stocky as F, but scared of a contested ball. Zeebs is a Tom Papley since he's a midget and would, without a doubt, over-celebrate the 1 goal he kicks for the season.
For 1 goal. Good on you, Tyson. I like it. I like George. You like being Zeeble, that old stinky fart.
I'm happy to be Zeeble. I'm a super coach. Relevant through the roof. But Tyson, you are a muppet, so you don't mess with the big boys.
No, definitely not.
So and now let's get the disgusting taste of Tyson out of our mouth with a nice, refreshing glass of Wahab. Wahab's like petition to get the coaches to tell the press beforehand if they're planning on subbing out a star player fade a 1K multi by Laird. Never been more disappointed. Depressed.
That's
now look, I'm always on Laird for the under with his injury history.
I've had him under for the last 3 weekends. He's got it all.
Yeah, yes.
Especially when he got
Let's not talk about that game because I was off 1,600. Now they're pretty much paying me to take that cash out. Watch the last live stream. If you're watching this, watch the live stream. Plenty of goodies in there. And then Shane Marcione, good Italian friend of mine. Thanks for all the advice you give, guys. The community, keep it going. Merchandise soon. Perhaps it's a lot of headaches, but I am talking to Craigie, which is also on the list about doing something. But that's it, Matty. The coffee shouts. Thank you so much to all the boys there.
Take a breath, champ. Take a breath.
Thank you.
Have not stopped talking, but that was full of excitement, and I think this is why that energy into kick-ins and CBAs. Champ, I want to be doing these ones yawning under my mouth.
CBAs and kickouts are not time for energy. It's time to think. It's time to use the frontal cortex of your brain.
At least, Tom Stewart, 9 kick-ins. At least.
Matty, sometimes I do that and you're like, what?
Okay. I saw, by the way, I saw something funny.
Tell me something funny.
So, John Miz commented on on our live chat.
Yeah, what did he say?
And he said something about, I'll get it up because I found it pretty funny. I was talking to Jamie about it. Have you not seen the comments on the live chat? Anyway, he was saying, Matt really knows. He looks like the Game of Thrones king, the Joffrey. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, well, it's equivalent because Jordy could poison me with his springwater tuna one day.
If anything, I'm going to make you live a little bit longer with the springwater tuna, Matty. But people don't want to hear about tuna.
No, we don't.
They want to hear about...
Football, right?
Who to bring in.
Football.
All right. Now, did you have a coffee pre-workout something before you came in? You got a little bit more energy than usual, which is nice, but it's a little bit too much. Now, like and subscribe if you're new here, guys. But we're getting straight into the trade-ins. Let's talk about the rookie trade-ins only. Matty, there's about 4 that are being seriously considered, maybe 5. Now, I'm going to tell you the 5.
Okay. Can I guess?
No.
Okay.
It's Jury, 102K, all right? Mm-hmm. Now, guys, if the teams are dropped, we're doing this just before the teams dropped. So
Jury is one of the 6.
So you guessing is just looking at all the players that are there.
I could have guessed them.
It's Jury, it's Berry, it's Humphrey, it's Sharp, and it's Aaron Francis.
And Thomas.
Thomas?
Sorry.
Oh, I said Berry, Matty.
Oh, okay. And Thomas Berry.
Yeah, okay.
Aaron Francis, George, that's yours. Anyway, let's talk about him.
Aaron Francis is a good one. Now, let's start with Aaron Francis. So he's 200K, guys. If you haven't seen, he plays for the Sydney Swans. He was an Essendon player. Sydney has a lot of injuries. They have a lot of injuries. There's even a new article on the AFL website. Go check it out. For the first time, I think he's played completely in the back line. They did try him up forward little bits and pieces during the game. He got, a season high score of about 93 SuperCoach points on the weekend, and he's still 213K. His dual position. I'm not saying to run out there, grab yourself a Francis, but if you want a pod kind of rookie, dual position, friendly buy, just got a 90. So if you can keep that up, he's going to be going up a fair bit of money.
You done?
That's heaps.
You done? Because I want to talk about that
the
guy.
injury list.
No, well, the injury list. So look, I think Aaron Francis is a trap. I think he's a Radaglia type. Geordie.
But Radaglia is the type that's made money.
When you picked him up at the start of the year. No
okay, but Radagali's starting price compared to Aaron Francis' price now, you doofus,
it's 30,000, 40,000 more.
It's not that different. Radagali is going to be a 3.7 if he's the same type.
Okay. What I mean by same type is not about his money-making potential, just being a big, dumb, lumbering backline idiot that might get 8 touches and an intercept mark here and there.
He's got more possessions in his last game than Radaglia has the whole season.
Yes, but that's one game. I don't know. I don't like him. But Geordie is right about one thing. Joel Amartey, 4 to 6 weeks. Paddy McCartan, indefinite. Tom McCartan is concussed. Logan McDonald, 8 weeks. Mills, 6 weeks. Rampy, 6 weeks. Sam Reid, season. And
Matty Roberts, 6 to 8.
Matty Roberts ain't getting a game anymore. I don't think we'll see him again this year.
Maybe.
But all of these players, George, you're right. They're all defenders. You got, McCartan, 2 McCartans. You've got the Rampies. Well, Sam Reid can throw himself in there anyway, but they're short of tall stocks, definitely. Who would be the other one jumping in?
Jumping in for?
Like a key defender for Sydney.
I think both McCartans are gone.
Both of them are gone. The other one got concussed again.
Yeah, well, look, there's someone in there. But
there's someone in there, I don't even know.
Francis, at least, he tries to spread, he tries to get a bit of football because he's not drafted to be a tall, lumbering idiot. He was drafted to at least do a little bit of rebounding. Obviously, they're going to need him to play that key position post.
Yeah, well, the only good thing about him is probably the fact that he's the dual position, defender forward, and he's got that first bye where you can afford to have him on the bench coming in, because I think his job security is going to be fine. It will be.
Yep.
I hate the price.
Break-even's -2 as well.
His break-even's -2 playing North Melbourne. I hate the price. Yes, his first game was in the back. The last game was in the back line. All the first 3 crap numbers, 38, 40 and 30, were in the forward line. Was any of them sub-affected? Probably not.
Maybe I haven't gone that back far, but 15 touches in his last game.
Yeah, 15 touches, 8 marks. So against Fremantle. Scored a 95. So
it's not too bad.
Not too bad, but yeah, I don't know.
But if he whips out another 90, you can say you cashed in for getting 150Ks done.
If he's that's a big ask.
It's North Melbourne. They're just going to boot it in there blindly, surely.
Surely.
But I just heard some more news that you probably noticed where the teams are out. Tom Hickey's out as well.
Yeah.
So they're pretty.
Well, Ladhams is a test.
Ladhams is. You said it best.
Who are they playing?
They're playing North Melbourne.
I want to get Goldstein. He's going to get another 180.
He's going to get another 180.
He's going to get another 180, that Goldstein.
Yeah.
George, okay, the next one.
I don't mind that one, Matty. So let's just put it in the back pocket and let's talk about the next one.
I think he's my least favourite.
Jury.
Jury's just in a good position to keep his spot. But they have... North Melbourne, it seems like they're bringing back the old team of last year because all these players...
Clarko stepped away from the club now.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty funny.
So who knows what they're actually going to do.
So who we got coming in? So Tom Powell is a test. Will Phillips played a really good game. Aaron Hall played a really good game.
Taron
Thomas also got 26 touches in the VFL. Could be a selection considering how many injuries they got. Also, that George Wardlow is on the cusp of getting a game this week.
They got a lot of players.
So they've got a bit of depth to take care of the crap players that already were in there and got injured. LDU, we know, is out for 3 to 4 weeks, whatever. I don't think their team... I actually feel their team could possibly be better this week. I'm serious, don't laugh. If you get...
You say some funny things, though.
But I think they could. They could have a chance against Sydney.
So North Melbourne, who they picked last week, and...
I like Phillips. I like Aaron Hall. I think they're good, talented players. And the players that got injured last week, let's face it, they're all duds.
Zurhaar's not a dud.
Zurhaar's
probably in the top 5 best players.
Okay, so Zurhaar maybe, or LDU, okay.
The team, they lose LDU and Zurhaar, and the team's going to be better. They got Phillips
and Cunnington is coming back. He got dropped last week, that big fat idiot. Now he's coming.
He's not fat.
Have you seen him?
So you're doing a body shame coming.
I'm not body shaming.
An AFL.
Oh, mate, sometimes everyone's too sensitive these days. They're like, he's fat, okay? I'm not scared to say it. All right? Cunnington, lose a couple of kilos or retire already.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, I'll leave him alone now. Anyway, so...
Okay, so you're back to Jury.
Back to Jury. So Jury...
What about his scoring potential? He got a 17.
He got a 17 in a full game. I said this on the last podcast.
He did get a 54 in his first game. So I don't know about Jury. I'd rather spend an extra 20K.
Well, yeah, well, me too.
Even if he gets dropped, which is a chance to get dropped. He played a horrible game.
Oh yeah, he got Jury 78%.
Let's not talk about him too much in case he gets dropped, and then everyone's watching it. Jury got dropped, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so Jury potentially.
Okay, so Jury's probably the last on the list for me.
Only thing about him is that he's 102 in his dual position.
That's it.
But
that's it. That is
anyway,
it.
that's the next one.
And there's a bit of injuries there. Now let's get into the three kind of more popular ones. Who do you want to go, mate? I'll let you choose.
We'll go for Berry. Because Berry...
I don't like him.
I don't like him either.
Did you see what I posted?
Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
Refresh my memory?
No.
Oh, it's not work, Chan. What do you want me to do?
I want you to have like that little button where it says show me all posts. Tom Berry, Stuart Dew says, we love the way Tom goes about it. He came in for Nick Holman. He played his role. It's going to be a tough decision. You can probably see them both playing together in the same team.
Yeah.
But I do not think Berry... I think, by the time everyone's watching this, Berry's dropped.
Oh, Berry... Oh, yeah.
And if he's not dropped, I think he's very close to getting dropped. So Berry is slightly above Jury, but...
Only a forward. He's 5% of teams have traded him already. Break even 34. Got a good buy. Playing Brisbane in Gold Coast, which makes no really difference. Got a 57 and a 48. So averaging 10 touches in his last 2 games. 10 against the best team in the comp, arguably with Melbourne, and 10 possessions against the worst team of... Arguably with... Yeah, Hawthorn. Still hasn't kicked a goal in a forward line. So what does he do there?
Yeah,
what does he do?
He averages 4 tackles a game.
He averages 4 tackles a game. Okay.
Anyway, so we don't like him. I don't like him personally. I wouldn't be getting him at all. I wouldn't be getting Jury either. For me, it's going to be out of Francis, Humphrey, and Sharp. But let's talk about Sharp, because a lot of people are saying he's probably the first one out of the team. But I done a bit of looking at Brisbane's team, right? And there is a Leicester in the team. There is an Answorth that was a sub. And look, the only person on their injury list that I saw, Matty, they only have 2 people on the injury list. And one is Daniel Richmond, 1 to 2 weeks. And Zorko, 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, George, I agree. Like, looking at their team, I'm sure Gunston's going to get a rest after that crap game sooner or later. Noah Ainsworth was the sub. You're not going to get rid of... I've seen Berry be the sub a few times, comes on as a tag, but they're not even using Berry as a tagging role anymore, so why even have him?
They like him on the wing.
They like him on the wing. Even that Jared Lyons still can't get a game. So even he's waiting in the skirts, thinking McCarthy's not going anywhere. If anyone needs to get dropped, it's that stupid Connor McKenna.
McKenna ain't going anywhere, so it's never as Wilmot.
And Leicester, I don't think he's going anywhere.
He got 19 touches.
He got 19 touches, 113 Supercoach. But look,
the thing is, if Rich does come in, I don't know if Sharp's going to be the first person to leave that team. Also, Zorko just done a hammy, a small one. He'll be out for 2 weeks. So it's at least another 2 weeks you think Sharp would be getting a game. And they're playing Gold Coast this week. Don't mind that scoring potential for him. I think he could be even one of the better rookies to play on the field.
17 touches and 6 marks, pretty good. They're keeping him on the field as much as you want him to, 73%
time on ground, guys. So I don't mind Sharp. Now let's get into, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
Look, if I was to get a rookie this week, it would probably be Sharp.
Be Sharp?
But I'm not getting a rookie this week.
Let's not go crazy with spoilers.
Okay, let's not go crazy with spoilers. Yes. All right, Jules, and obviously the big talking point on everyone's mouth is that 117 scoring player, Bailey Humphrey, of last week. Jules, I hate it.
I don't hate it.
You tell me why you don't.
Well, he's about the same price as Aaron Francis, if not exactly the same. Now, let's talk about the good things first, okay? Then we'll talk about the bad things. The good things are dual position, mid, forward.
Good,
right?
Yep.
He's getting rid of a -3 in his 3-game average. A good buy, and 117. So he's going to be at least minimum making about 80K over the next 2 weeks if he gets 50s, right? So that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. The bad stuff is he's in Gold Coast. He's playing in forward line, and he did get that score against West Coast, right? I'm not expecting any hundreds from him. If I was to get him, I would be expecting 60s. And I think he got a 64 last week, right? So it's not out of the realm of possibility of him getting 64s. And I think that is enough for him to make about 120K into his buy round. I don't think he's in danger of getting dropped. Could be in danger of being subbed off. He has been subbed off before, thus that -3. That's why I don't mind him. Compared to the other options, Sharp is the only one I like Aaron Francis as well. So,
going through Bailey Humphrey's scores, his first game he played a full game. He got 39 SuperCoach. He got 11 touches, 3 tackles and 1 mark. Round 5 against Frere, he got subbed off, got a 38. Round 6, he started as sub, came on the field and got a 43.
Impressive.
Vulture names against him. He came on for Rosas in the third quarter. Then Richmond, he started as sub and, he played almost, let's have a look how much percent times he got. Because he got 1 touch and then got subbed off against Richmond in a game where Gold Coast won. So that was really, he had 46% game time. When did he get subbed off? Half time? Who knows? Let's have a look. Rosas came on. No. So Humphrey played for 2.5 quarters and got subbed off, got a -3. Now that -3 is gone, George. He came back on the scene and got a full game, which was that 60 you talked about.
64.
64. And then that was against Melbourne.
So that was against Melbourne, which was the most impressive. 15 touches and 5 tackles. He didn't kick any goals and he still got a 64. So that's impressive. And he's like a kind of, Max King, Ben King type where, he's not going to have consistent scores of a normal midfielder. He's going to have some small scores and some rather big scores. So
the only thing, so back to the things that I like is the fact that he could potentially make some money for the price that he is. I wouldn't play him on the field, even against Melbourne when he done that score. What was his percent on time, Gerald's? Look.
75.
75, and last week was a little bit less, which was 67, in a team where they beat West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't like the price. I don't like...
And also, these Gold Coast next 2 games is up in Queensland. Then they come back and play Carlton and Hawthorn after their bye.
So who's on the... So Weller's coming back in a couple of weeks. And that's about it as far as the injury list. Obviously, Took Miller's not going to still...
Nick Holman's will come in probably for Berry, I imagine.
Berry?
Or a type like that. They might experiment with that. But I don't think Bailey Humphrey's position in the team is in too much jeopardy.
They still got that... Geordie
Hagawayo, Paul Owu.
They still got him in the team.
Sorry, Huago.
Tsatsis was the sub. Mac Andrew, who knows?
Okay, if Tsatsis gets a full game, there's another one. But out of those options, tell me your 1st to 5th, please, Matt Eves.
I will go first, which will be other, which is Bytel.
Is that 6th?
Which is Bytel.
Is that 6th or 5th?
That is other, 6th.
Okay, 6th.
So Bytel, I think Bytel needs to be talked about. 116,000 cheaper than all the rest of those rookies, except Blake Drury. His first game was a 71 and he's been sub ever since. I really like the potential. And if you don't remember his preseason games, he did blister. And
I remember.
Cameron, you remember?
I just wish there was more injuries on St Kilda's list. So
let's hope, after watching this, let's hope Steele's out and a couple of other midfielders can't get up. But if Bytel is in, I will strongly consider trading him. Even though his break-even is about 40, but I still think he's got potential to go high.
Sure, champ.
As far as, so the other 5, George, I'll probably put Francis 5th.
Oh,
I don't like it. I don't like the price. I don't like where it's at. I'll probably put Drury 4th. Then I'll probably put Humphrey 3rd. Then, no, actually Berry, Humphrey, then Sharp.
Okay, so number 1 is Sharp for Matty. Number 2 is Humphrey. Number 3 is Berry. And then it's Jury and Francis. For me, guys, last place is Jury. The second last is Berry. And them 2 are quite fighting it out for last place. They're probably one of them or 2 of them got dropped by the time teams come out. Now, for me, I think, this is a tough one.
Francis or Humphrey, Jules? Are you tossing up between those 2? Sharp number 1.
I don't know.
So those top 3, you don't know who to put in order?
I don't. I like Sharp because he's cheaper and he's playing Gold Coast.
And first buy?
I don't really like the first buy.
I do, because there's only 4 teams and you can afford to have
if I'm comparing Berry to the other 2, they have the better buy. They're both Gold Coast. Gold Coast and then Sydney's
I think the first buy and the Gold Coast buy are the best 2, considering that we're not going to have a lot of players out in that first buy. And after that buy goes...
Yeah, I like the last buy, personally.
Okay.
But
so does Jamie.
Yeah, so I will go... All right, I like Francis more than Humphrey. And I like Berry second.
So Humphries first?
No, I'll go...
Francis is first.
Francis first, Sharp, and then Humphrey.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about that, though. I'm still thinking about that.
Don't think too long and hard, champ. We all want you to get that, Francis, and let us know how that goes next week.
All right.
All right,
Now,
George.
that being said, now I'm going for Sharp. Sharp, Francis, Humphrey for me.
That sounds fine. All right, George, that's okay. There's no one else really.
Now, who to trade out? Who's trading out?
Oh, George, okay. So let's talk about the trading outs. Everyone is trading out top 10. Hopper, number 1, so from 1 to 10. Hopper, Chandler, McKenna, Davey, LDU, Oscar Baker, Ollie Hollins, Mills, Fergus Green, and Setterfield.
Now, Matty, if you have like 3 of those players, it's really hard because you kind of want to get rid of the guys with the most cash so you get points on the field.
Yeah.
Look, I got Setterfield, I got Hopper, and I got McKenna, and I've already given him the FU, and I've already driven by, and I don't know what to do now because his break-even is 88. Hoppers and Setterfields, and they're not in a really good position because they're playing each other, Hopper and Setterfield, so it's hard to really loop many players with them, Matty, because I think Gold Coast is playing the same time as them as well, so you can't really loop your Atkinses and your Humphreys.
All your McKennas as well. All of them are playing the same. So Brisbane, when you got McKenna's, Wilmots, if you want to get rid of him, then you got some Setterfields and Hoppers.
No one's getting rid of Wilmot.
They're all playing 7:30s on Saturday night. So yeah, George, it's going to be a noodle scratcher.
It is going to be a noodle scratcher. If you've got boosts, get rid of all the players that are not playing. I think if you've got Davey, but you still got 2 big primos that are playing, you can wait on Davey. Who cares if he loses some money? He's not like he's made anything really. Yeah. I think you can just start focusing on the primos. If you got LDU, if you got Setterfield, if you got Hopper, they all need to go.
Let's hope Steele's out as well.
You just want other people, can't jump on other people? Cool.
Let's hope for Steele, and maybe Laird comes up with a bit of a niggle.
I can't wait to talk about captains, but let's talk about the trade
outs. Well, yeah, George, I agree. I think a lot of people will still might have Hopper and Setterfield.
A lot of people got rid of Setterfield a week or 2 ago.
So, yeah, those $350,000 plus players in Setterfields, in LDUs, in Hoppers, dump them for sure, straight away, now. Now, people are saying, oh, like, if you do have a boost and you've got a McKenna and you've got McKenna's and Setterfields and Hoppers, well, that's probably the best position to be in, to drop McKenna for $120,000 and use that money to put both into good mid-price premiums that are on the cusp this week, George.
Matty Gazeep.
Yes.
I got a question.
Oh, yeah.
Look, if you have 2 big primos, big juicy primos, and you can get, a like for like, 2 primos for them. Like, say you can get a Hopper and a Steele or LDU to 2 underpriced 500k primos. Do you do that? Or if you can, and you got some money in the bank, or do you need to go for a rookie now because...
No, don't go for a rookie now, no.
Why there is no really good rookies on the cusp after this week?
Okay, so you're asking the wrong person because clearly my strategy has not been getting rookies and primos. I've been making money from getting Chase Joneses and Pianets and stupid players like this that everyone laughs at, and that's fine.
It is funny.
It is funny. It's regardless of it's funny, but they're not getting 30s and getting dropped like a lot of the rookies have been. So Chase Jones is now $400,000 when I got him for $100,000 cheaper than his starting price. So I don't mind getting rid of those LDUs and those Steels if he's injured, or, for mid-price players that you think are going to be making value in money, like Exhibit A, then rather getting someone that we just talked about with, okay, Aaron Francis is still $200,000, Humphreys is still $200,000 plus dollars. Job security is good for Francis. Humphrey, one shit kick or something, he's gone.
Well, he's got a -3 against Richmond and they're still playing him.
Well, that's, who knows? Who knows? Then you've got, Barry Drury and...
Barry Drury, don't worry about them.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you're talking about getting these must-get rookies.
Okay, but if
none of these rookies are must-gets.
Okay, if you want to upgrade cadence, who are you downgrading to next week? Or you not have that hindsight to look at the week ahead?
Okay,
who are you getting next week?
Okay, we have had a look. So that Bulldogs player could potentially get another game.
The 102k one is going 30
there
or 20.
Yeah, whatever. He still likes him. Didn't you put an article on him?
No, just said he's going to get one more game.
One more game, okay. Let's hopefully he sets the world on fire. There's always rookies going to come out. Even Vital, if he might not get a sub this week, Like even Fife could be on the radar next week if he's another sub player.
He's still not going to be. He's going to be 250. He's still.
But still, But the potential for him to make money will be there, and that's you don't just get the 120,000s because you think they're the cheapest and they're going to make you money.
I'm thinking that because there's not going to be really good options for next week if you want to continue to downgrade.
Can I talk about who I want to talk about as far as a good value option
for next week? Talk about who's good downgrade next week.
You're not listening to my concept of what I'm saying.
Okay, I understand your concept, but I'm saying if you want to upgrade next week, what are you doing?
If I want to upgrade next week, what am I doing? Okay, so if we go to teams played, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So who knows? We haven't even seen the teams today. I'm sure someone's going to come out of nowhere. What if that Wardlow sets the world on fire and gets a 90?
Isn't he overpriced? You may as well just get a Francis now. That's got a 90.
I wouldn't trust Francis because he's.
You trust a Wardlow though?
Who knows? Like there's
a Fleeden as well.
There's the Fleet. Who's he play for?
GWS.
Who
does he play for? So many superstar rookies.
There's no superstar rookies.
Exactly. I'm just saying, if you want to make some
even Jai Clark. Jai Clark's a good rookie. He's 170th. He might be dropped, but he's
13. He's a bit cheap.
He's the first round. He's the first. Kane Ballin, if he gets another game.
Oh yeah, how much does he cost?
170.
Oh jeez.
$50,000 less than that stupid Francis that you got on your field.
What's his job security?
Yeah. Okay. Well, who knows? Well, Fleeton got a 47. That's good enough. But anyway, that's not.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here to try and see what rookies we're going to get next week.
What rookies?
Because it doesn't look very promising. Is all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm not, and that's okay, and that's so. If you think just because if there's rookies on the bubble now, that will probably,
and there isn't next week.
Huh? And there isn't. Well, we don't even see the teams yet. There could be a couple of.
Okay, but there could be players that play one game.
Okay, all right. Maybe Constable comes back in. Maybe Bytel comes in. We can't predict the future. You play with
70% of teams play Constable.
You play with what the cards that you got at the moment. Now, when I'm talking about Bytels and players that I said, okay, if you wanted to get an LDU, maybe make $200,000 off a mid-price player like M. Kennedy from Carlton, for example, who I think is a great pick. And you still get that $200,000, which you would have got from Oscar Baker into a rookie next week.
Now let's talk about the trade-ins.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So obviously you want to talk about Kennedy. I think you like him.
I love Kennedy.
Is he in?
I would say yes, but like he wasn't in.
Okay, but who's out of your team? Let's tell me who's out of your team.
Setterfield and Hopper.
Same, I think. Maybe McKenna.
Setterfield and Hopper. I'll keep McKenna in. Setterfield and Hopper because I don't want to lose that on points. Keeping one of them, you're going to have $400,000 on the bench, and that's a waste of money.
So now, them two superstars go out of the team. Kennedy comes in. Who else comes in?
DCAM. Hopefully, he will be named. Like obviously,
he will be named.
Yeah. Well, if he's named, that's a premium. That's a ruck forward. He's under $500,000. He got subbed off like the half time in his last game, and he still got an 89. So his first two scores was setting the world on fire: 103, 137, and an 89. With probably 30% game time. Mm-hmm. Coming up against Carlton North with a break even.
Oh, and Peanut's going to smash him.
Can you believe Collingwood's run? So Carlton North, West Coast, besides Melbourne, Adelaide at the G, Gold Coast, Doggies, Fremantle at the G.
I still think Collingwood's going to lose 3 of those games.
I would not think...
Carlton can win this week.
I'm scared too, but I hope not. But like it's if one game,
sure Cripps is going to go berserk eventually.
Their midfield is too strong. And
Matt Kennedy, another Carlton mid-pricer in that team, Matty. How many can you fit?
Champ, there's only 2 of them, and it's Kennedy and Pianette, and I think it's going to be like.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
I think I might make the same trades this week.
Serious? Are you serious?
But I've been playing around with something else. I am getting D-Cam, I think. But instead of getting rid of a Setterfield or Hopper, I might get rid of McKenna to downgrade, to make a bit of cash, and go for a Sharp or a Francis or a Humphrey.
No.
I could do that.
I'm backing it in, boys.
Because Matt Kennedy, his break even's still about 76. So if he gets a 90 or 100, you've got maybe 10K, and then I can see his role again, and I can see if he's going to make more money. No. So I might wait a week for Matt Kennedy. He's incredibly risky. He hasn't played a full year since he joined. And he's, I'm sure you would have done some checks on him, Matty.
Well, yes, I did. He averaged 96 last year. He's already dropped
180K.
He's dropped a lot of cash, boys. He's dropped $185,000. The sub vest, I don't think he's going to get it on. He was sub against Brisbane, and he came on the last quarter, got 13 touches and a goal. Managed a 36. Last week against the Bulldogs, he got 89. the first 2 full games that he played, he got a 96 and 110. He did have a full game against Adelaide. I think he was coming off an injury because he missed round 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. So there's what Geordie's talking about. He's not playing a full season because he's already missed those 2 games.
Honestly, he's very injury prone.
So when he came back from injury and Adelaide kicked the shit out of Carlton, he only got a 41 with 16 touches. Played another full game against St Kilda, got an 80. Sub on West Coast, he only got a 25, which has dropped his price. Sub for Brisbane, where he got a 36, dropped on price. Came back with an 89 last week.
So his break even
15 CBAs.
Oh, you know CBAs, do you?
So you think I just you like I listen. Oh, I do my own research. I just hate it how you do it, but I don't listen. I look. So yeah, Kennedy, I like it. If you're, and these are the type of players that I think that are value for gold when there's a bunch of shit rookies that you've just read out. So
I like the rookies. I like the 3 of them. To be perfectly honest,
none of them are going to besides the ones that are already 200.
How many games do you think Sharp can get? Why is he leaving the team? They've only got Rich and Zorko to come back in. I mean, Zorko's already in there. He hasn't officially left, but he will be out.
Their full list, Draws. Their full list. Okay, if you want to talk
about... Okay, but look, only Rich is coming in. That's injured, right?
Yeah.
That's one position.
Okay, but there's a lot of players on the emergencies and in the seconds that are pushing.
But he's playing.
Selection. He's playing now.
He's playing good.
Okay, I don't like it. This has been a season where we get rookies in and they do 60 or not even 50s or below and not play games and get dropped.
Being at 68 and now he's playing Gold Coast.
Okay, cool. I just don't believe in Sharp. I don't believe in Sharp. I don't like Humphreys and Sharps are probably the best options that you've got on paper. And Francis's job, so as much as I'm laughing at him, he's got the job security.
Yeah,
that's it. He's here. Like, you know what I mean? That's, and I'm laughing.
Can Francis get another 90 this week?
No, I don't think
Why?
he can.
Why can he get a 90 against Freo?
I'm sure. Okay, he can get 110.
Guys, you heard it here first. Can Humphrey get a good score against Brizzy?
I'm sure he can. I'm sure anyone can get a good score. But
can Harry Sharp? What do you think Harry Sharp's going to score against Gold Coast this week?
55.
Are you sure?
And no, probably not. What do you think he's going to get?
I think he's going to get a 70.
I don't think he's ever.
That's only 6 points more than he got last week against Essendon.
Well,
at 4.
See how we go. Gold Coast are in tip-top form.
No, that's played West Coast. Don't be fooled.
Well, that's what. Well, Geelong played Hawthorn, and what have they done since? They were 3 games and.
We're talking about the Wooden Spooners versus the Premiers.
Yeah, but fucking Geelong was 0-3.
They played Collingwood and some other decent sides. They played Carlton as well.
Carlton aren't even in the 8. But anyway, I think when you find these players like, I know you might laugh, but Fife once he gets fit,
I'm not laughing.
I'm just saying. Okay, all right. You just say, all right, fair enough. You did say you might do the same trades that I'm doing, with Kennedy and DCAM, but with players like Fife, who's going to be 200,000 next week, he's. Yes, he's still risk and injury prone, but he's more likely to make you $150,000.
Never Fife. Don't do it ever.
Then what?
If he's even playing a full game, he's always 100% of danger of being subbed off. Now that we've got Fife out of the way, can I throw some hypotheticals your way?
Go ahead.
I love a hypothetical. Matty, DCAM gets injured, not named, late withdrawal. What's your next primo you're thinking about? Or some people out there that don't like DCAM. What's the next person you're thinking about?
As in, like... Right now.
Yeah, what would your trades be if DCAM wasn't in?
I fucking hate them all. So
who would you get?
I was thinking about getting Laird this week, but his break even's 149.
It is.
139.
And he's an old man. And you can't trust those old people. I knew at the start of the season.
You couldn't start it, but I just can't. Like, the best midfielders at the moment are the unsung, under the radar Sarongs and Cheras.
Or Petrarcas.
And Liberatores. And then
Chera's got a shit score.
What?
Chera got a real shit score.
How shit?
Real shit, like 70 shit.
Are you sure?
Oh, of course I am, Matty. I spent all day on this thing.
Chera, I spent all day on this thing. Chera, he still made $2,000.
And if you didn't know, Chera also had really bad CBAs on the weekend.
Chera is 600,000.
Not for long, champ.
My word, his break even is 130, which he can get because his projected score is 147 against Collingwood. So if you like that, he's got a 79, but
His CBAs was well down. He got like 3 or 4 CBAs on the weekend with Matt Kennedy in there.
Besides that 79, like 133, 134, 144.
There's just Carlton. There's just so many good players in there that can take the CBAs, except for Cripps. They always give Cripps high CBAs. So Welsh has now been rolling. He's going to be DPP. Let's talk about the DPPs now before we get into the captains.
Wait, I thought we were talking about who we're going to go in if you don't like a DK.
I did, but then you started talking about Cheras.
All right. Well, I'm talking about Cheras. Tom Stewart's, yeah, okay. Tom Stewart's a great pick.
That's what
I've got him in.
Okay, so that's who you're asking me.
Okay.
That's who I'd get, Matty, if Dick Ken was out.
Okay. No premium midfielders because obviously Setterfield and Hopper are both midfielders.
Yeah.
So who would you get if you had to pick?
I'll put Day in the midfield and get a defender.
All right. We know who. Okay, so Tom Stewart. If I was to get a defender, if I could afford him, I'll go for Dawson. Who's your number one target in the midfield?
In the midfield right now, I wouldn't target a midfielder right now.
Yeah, I know.
But if I would, I know Lockie Neal's break-even's 150, but I think he can get that against Gold Coast, and he always has a good record against him. So I'll just go 1 week early on Lockie Neal.
On Lockie Neal, okay. And the forward line.
And Merritt's even not too bad now with Setterfield out, Dylan Shield under injury cloud.
Are we going to see Jai Codwell at the top of the CBAs again?
Yes. And we'll probably see Hobbs in there and maybe even some Archie Perkins.
Perkins is in there.
So we're going to see this, and maybe more, what's his name? Package.
Stringer.
So we're going to see some absolute horrible shit from Essendon, I reckon, and they're going to get smashed. Now, I'm going to tell you about some DPPs unless you want to still talk about that.
No.
Okay, so guys, if you don't know, done a big post, Code Sports and AFL SuperCoach was charging for these kind of stats that I'm about to put up for you guys, but I'm going to read them out for you. So the DPP tracker, as of now, they will kick in after round 11.
So this round and next week?
Yes. And then you need 35% in that position to get it. So I'm going to read you out a couple of people of interest. Now, Sam Walsh, 1% defence, 59% midfield, 40% forward line. If it was to end now, he would get it.
So as far as the percentage times over the last 6 weeks do we know? We don't know how much percent times that he needs to stay in the forward for him to get it for next week.
Well, at the moment, if he does exactly what he's been doing the last 6 games, okay, that's what he's on. So Walsh looks like if he continues to roll, he'll get it. If he gets like 90% of the CBAs, that's going to be a different story. Mm-hmm. Zach Merritt is not in line. He's got 1% defence, 85% midfield, 14% forward, and I think with all those injuries, he ain't going to be getting DPP. So that's a no. Yeah. Dylan Williams, for the guys who jumped on, Dylan Williams has been such a good cash cow. He's definitely going to get DPP in defence. Ashcroft, 25% forward and 75% midfield. Not enough. Falls short. I don't know how long he'll be in the team after anyway, Matty.
Oh, this is going to hurt.
Callum Mills, 22% defence, 56% midfield, 12% in the forward line. Not enough for Callum Mills, and he's out. So
this is the one that I was talking about.
Petrarca. Now he's 59% in the midfield and 31%
just needs
forward.
4 more percent time in the next couple of games, or probably a bit more than that.
Two more games to get an extra 4% for Petrarca. I think he can do it because he's coming off an injury. He's coming off a rolled ankle. If he plays this week, I think they might spend more time forward.
Let's hope so.
Why? So we can get in the forward line. People with him are going to be laughing.
Yeah,
no one's going to trade him in at 650k. I'm sure there's some people, but
oh yeah.
Jack Sinclair, 70% defence, 30% midfield. He just needs another 5% in the midfield. I don't think it's going to change too much anyway. You're going to keep him in defence regardless. McRae, Matty, you're one of your favourites pre-season, just like the 1% defence, 64% mid, and 35% forward. If it was to end right now, he would get forward DPP, Matty.
Mm-hmm, nice.
Would you even want him? No? Brody Grundy, 82% ruck, 18% forward. Not going to get that DPP unless something dramatic happens. Nick Dacos, 65% defence, 29% mid, 6% forward. He needs a big stint in the midfield, which he could get, but not really relevant. You'd keep him in the back line anyway. And the last two, Maxi Gawn, 63% in the ruck and 37% in the forward line. He's going to get it if he continues, unless Grundy goes out injured for the next game or two and he plays complete ruck. He's going to get that DPP in the forward line. And I reckon he's going to score huge against Port Adelaide, Matty.
Oh, yeah.
Jaden Short, we don't really care, but he's in line to get DPP in the midfield. Matty?
I like it, George. I like the fact, probably the one that I might target, I would love to get Max Gawn again, probably for Pierre Net. Then I'll have 3 ruckmen, Marshall, Gawn and Pierre Net. Marshall, Gawn and Cameron doing some things. What do you like about all that?
Well, Welsh is in the forward line. That's pretty damn good.
4-line, yeah. I've still got some Sheezels to go in the back lines.
I think I'm going to sideways Sheezel at his buy, which is the last buy. Mm-hmm. Then it'll allow me an extra premium, like a Welsh in there, or if Petrarca gets it or something like that.
That makes sense.
Now, let's talk about captains, Matty, and vice-captains, because I actually have so many sneaky options this week. Mm-hmm. I have so many sneaky options.
I think the safest option is going to be the obvious one, George. And even though, the safest one, the most common one, is going to be the one, because we all know that Clary does not play very good against Port Adelaide. George, do you want to read out some stats?
I would love to, Matty, because I've been staring at these stats in the face, and it's disgusting. Because Port Adelaide is the team that Clary scores the second least SuperCoach points against. He has played 7 games against them, and his highest score in those 7 games has only been 118, which is not even a good captain option. Okay, so his very last game against Port Adelaide was 68 points in 2022. He's a great player. He could break loose and set an absolute, but based on the trend of how he scores against Port Adelaide, and he's going to be a pass for me, Matty.
Look, let's just say, so at the moment, 21% of people that got Clayton Oliver have got him as a vice captain. I'm one of those 21% of people. I think it's a new look midfield for Port Adelaide over the last 3 years that Clayton Oliver has probably played against him. There's no Boak really in there. Ollie Wines, that big-bodied idiot, he's not even in there either in the CBAs, as much as the little skinny, skillful players with, Rosés and Butters and William Drews.
Drew's a tagger.
So that's probably, But I'm going to back Clary in. Only because, to be honest, I've got no other big premium better than him.
Let me tempt you with a couple down the road.
All right, champ. Okay. We're going to talk about Goulden. North Melbourne is the second one that I was thinking of.
Before we get to that game, let's talk about, you don't have him, but other people do. Max Gawn against Tickle.
Oh, yeah.
We saw the absolute violation that Goldstein done against him last week. 171
Goldstein is
points.
a sole ruckman, though.
Yeah, even with half a game, Max Gawn could go 150.
And kick a couple of goals.
I wish I could get Max Gawn. I wish that...
It's at Adelaide, though.
If I didn't have so many injuries, I would wish an ankle injury upon Rowan Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'd get Gawn.
You get Gawn just...
No doubt.
Yeah, it's a good vice captain.
Handy vice captain. If I'd gone, I'd go vice captain over him, over Clary. Would you? Or would you go Clary still?
I'll still go Clary.
Cool. Next game, Goulden. Now, he's got 256s in a row. He jumped in the CBAs more when Mills got injured. North Melbourne. Bad news, Hickey's out, so Goldstein will probably be tapping it to everyone but him. I still like it.
I still like it too.
I still like it though, guys. Good. I'm rubbing my hands together just thinking about those points coming in.
Gouldens.
Oh, but there is so many options, Matty. You like the Goulden pick?
I like the Goulden. I think he'll be my captain if Oliver does crap.
Really?
Yeah.
You trust him that much to put the C on him?
Yep. Oh, in Marvel, yeah.
Oh, damn. All right, Matty. I got some more sneaky options, okay? Just bear with me.
All right.
Now, Sean Darcy, obviously coming off of a big game against, Hickey, or whatever was left of him. Now he's got Segler. And now this is not just a thing.
Segler's a good hit out ruckman though.
Yeah, you think so. But check out this. Now, it's you just got to get your hands to the ball first, and then whichever one in your midfield picks it up, that's a hit out to advantage.
Yes.
Now, Geelong's midfield is pretty much decimated.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Fremantle's midfield, Sarong, Brayshaw, Amira, these types, compared to Atkins.
Who even's in there?
Blitz,
Holmes. Yeah.
I just like his ability to hit it to advantage. If anything, as a vice captain, we'll put the C in him. But equally liking Marshall against Flynn. Because Mason Cox looked like an absolute Brownlow medalist against him. And Marshall, the very last game, if you trust it, I reckon Marshall can pump out a big score against Flynn.
I agree.
I think so too. Now, before we get that, here's another sneaky one for you, Matty. I know there's so many sneaky ones. Obviously, Taranto. Now, with Essendon having no one in their midfield...
They've got taggers. They've got the Shields, Codwells and Merritts.
Someone's going to get the football, and it's going to be Taranto. I like him. Not enough to maybe put the C on him, but I do like Tarant.
Who's going to come in the midfield for Richmond? Bolton, Dusty maybe?
Yeah, Dusty, Taranto, Bolton. They're going to have a fun day there.
They're going to have a fun
Short's
day.
going to have a stint there as well.
I do think so.
Now let's talk about people with Lockie Neal against the Gold Coast.
Oh, George, you like a Neil against Gold Coast? He does.
I really strongly would consider it.
Chav, is Dunkley going to be tagging Anderson and getting a lot of tackles?
Dunkley does what Dunkley wants to do. He ain't going to be tagging. He's just going to tackle whoever's got the ball.
Yeah, that's what he does.
So I don't think that's an issue. Obviously, Ashcroft is not going to if you don't trade Ashcroft, so you're going to have to want him against Gold Coast at the G. Now you're an Anderson owner. Are you thinking any kind of Anderson moves, or are you just scared off now?
He's just going to stay right where he is.
Right where he is, the piece of poo.
I think Oliver and Goulden, or maybe not Goulden. I'm still a bit iffy about Goulden. If I had to choose, I like the Marshall against Flynn, but hopefully Oliver gets 140. We don't have to worry about it.
Hopefully, Matty. But in case he doesn't, I got another great captain option, not for you, because it's Bontempelli. Now, Bontempelli, from what I see, he's got the second highest average against Adelaide, okay? He has never scored lower. He's played 8 games. He's never scored lower than an 82 against them, and he scored a high score of 199 against them. He averages 120 points a game, which is the second highest of any team he plays, and I don't mind it. Well, he did get two...
Bont.
He is, but he did get 2 80s against them, 88 and 87 last 2 times they played, but before that was 199. That being said, second highest average against the Crows. Bont is a very, very good option this week. Matt Zeebs, is there any other people you're thinking of?
No, really I'm thinking of Oliver, and I haven't really thought that far ahead after Oliver because, to be honest...
Okay, so if Oliver doesn't work, which there is a good chance because it's the second lowest thing, are you thinking Goulden captain?
I'm thinking either Goulden or I'm thinking either Pianet if Darcy Cameron doesn't play. He's going to get so many hits.
I don't think that's
No, I'm only just joking, guys. I'm not that stupid. I'm stupid enough to get him, but not stupid enough to make him captain, which has been a mastermind.
What about Dacos against Carlton?
Who's there for line? What? Owies or someone? Yeah, he could do all right. Yeah, Dacos could be a good one.
Dacos against... he's good. I don't know if I would have bite the bullet. Now, I'm pretty sure Adelaide, right? Mm-hmm. They got smashed. Ryan Marshall smashed Sam Jacobs, right? And he got that 131 last week. Now, who's playing Sam Jacobs this week is Tim English. Mm-hmm. Do you think Tim English owners could have a punt?
Well, it's at the Mars Stadium, which is Bendigo somewhere. So it's going to be a big, windy, small, sheltered, crappy ground.
So his hit-outs are going to go so
far. Hit-out.
He doesn't even get hit-outs. Now, okay, so if you're a Bont owner and you were an English owner, who would you, if you were to pick one of those?
I wouldn't touch that game just based on the conditions and the ground that they're playing.
But Bont always makes a wet footy look dry. He makes a windy game look...
But that's what I mean. The wind... I think there's going to be more clangers in this game than what you think. I don't think Bont's going to hit his 120. I think Bont's going to be a bad captain option this week.
Okay, so if I could only choose Goulden and Bont, which I can only choose Goulden or Bont, who should I choose? I know you hate Bont, so I don't know. Ask you guys, who do you reckon, Goulden or Bont? Because this is a real. I'm not touching Clary. No chance.
Dacos or Matt Marshall? You don't like those two? Oh, you do vice captain options. Vice captain options, you've got to be safe under Marvel, under the Marvel rules.
It's not safe. You're picking Goulden. He averages 108.
But over his last 3 games, he averages a lot more.
Yeah, okay.
He got 156. He's got 3.
By that logic, we should put Goldstein captain. And if you do have Goldstein, make him captain because he...
Yeah, that's what it is. With that logic, yes.
It's not that logic, but the logic is that he's playing Lathams or less.
Geordie, he has absolutely dominated. He got that 47 and he's done nothing but...
Imagine if he got your captain as a 47 though.
That'll be so sad. His last 3 games, George, he's averaged 143. That's pretty goddamn good. Even his last 5 games with that 47, he's averaged 113.
Not good enough for captain.
Goulden is good enough. What are
you thinking about Goulden, guys? Make him vice captain.
He got 39 touches last week and he got 37 touches against Collingwood.
You said everyone smashes Collingwood.
They do.
Okay, so let's take that one out.
Maybe Cripps captain. Because he's got a lot of... No, I'm joking.
No, look, now, this is... Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, guys. Okay, I would love to go vice captain Goulden into captain Bont, but I can't because they're playing at the same time.
Yeah. I like Oliver, Goulden.
You only like Oliver because you don't have anyone else. Right?
No, I'm not talking about just my players. I'm talking about overall. I like Oliver, Goulden. I like your Sean Darcy. I like Neil. And I think that's it.
What do you think of Trent? He's averaging pretty good this year.
No, he just did another Dream Team special last week where he got 129.
But this is Esther.
Dream Time at the G, it's a big game.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Richmond did hit some form last week, but he just loves to chop.
How's Richmond $1.62? There should be a shoe-in to beat Bombers.
They should.
Without Setterfield.
Without Setters, I know. Jam Setters, he's so shit. Can't wait for the actual teams to come out, boys. I wish we could do another live one. Maybe I'll come back and do a live one.
What?
About the teams.
This is going to be premiering after the team job. All right, guys, I think that's about it.
I think, George, so your trades again.
Decam and Kennedy, or Decam and one of the rookies.
Francis. Geordie, Jamie's going to really want you to get that Kennedy.
I don't give a fuck. Sorry about the language, guys.
Yes, that's true.
Sorry, Michael. I know you didn't want me to swear.
Yeah. That's it for me too, George.
Now, guys, if you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. We do some absolute belters. Oh, Francis! What a strong contest, Mark!
Dude, hold the ball. You haven't even got rid of it.
He took the mark and you just held on too long. It's 50 metres. Yeah, there's a mark. Let go. Let him go. Yeah, 50.
Every day of the week.
50.
All right, George, I want to go home, see what's for dinner. Oh! Punch. Oh. Sorry, there's my wrist. Okay.
Oh, is your wrist okay? Is your wrist okay?
Yeah, it is.
All right, guys. See you later.
See you, boys. Ow.